1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's have a look. What is sounding? 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I have a feeling something isn't quite right this morning. I have a feeling. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Maybe it's just me. 1 2. That's better. I knew there was something amiss there. So, good morning, everyone. How are you doing? So many buttons I have to press in the morning. J-Kiss. J-Kiss. Who's J-Kiss? Julia. Julia this morning. Thank you. Good to see you, Julia. Okay, let's get this sorted then. Let's have a look. So we've got 3 of you on. I can only see Julia's put her name in. Jump on. Let's see who's on this morning. Just put your initial if you want or whatever, and I can see. That'll be good. Morning, Jill. Good morning. I know some of you actually are probably like driving and stuff like that. So how are we doing? It was interesting chat last night, and I will do the sleep. I love the sleep one actually because it does always rear its little head now and again, but there's a load of factors that can affect the sleep. But we'll do that tomorrow. Donna, I can see you now. Donna, good morning. You're on the road to Liverpool, of course you are. Oh well, I hope it all goes well today. Yeah. So in the pool. So let's have a look. Why diets don't work is what I'm talking about this morning. Part of that. Why diets don't work. So I hope nobody's looking at this plan and thinking I'm on a diet, because you shouldn't be thinking that at all. You should be thinking that you're on lifestyle changes and habit stacking and stuff like that. Because if you're just focusing on the diet part, then it's definitely not going to work, because diets don't. So initially on this diet, of course, we start off with the shopping list, and then you can, for the first 21 days usually, and then you can start to add in different foods. But the reason why we start with the shopping list is because sometimes those things are the ones that are creating the issues, starting to create the either trigger foods, that type of thing, and it gives a good guideline to where you can stay. And you can choose, when you feel like things are going a little bit too wild, you come back and always go back onto that shopping list 100%. Because we know, that people have like triggers. I have triggers, if I start to eat some sweet stuff, then that builds up and builds up. And the same with like bread products, they can go a little bit wild as well, can't they? So it's good to keep in mind a list of do's. And also with the dairies, some people are badly affected by dairy and have no idea. I was like that, and I ate dairy for years and years and years. And caffeine and, all of those things. Sometimes you think, oh, I can have those. But if you find that a list, elimination list, it's called elimination list, that starts you off, you can understand, actually, I'm much better without these trigger foods. So that's why we start off with that. Then you're gradually adding in the things that that are all right. You've tested them, you've put them back in. So you're moving forward on that. And then, of course, that's why I say, there's the MyFitnessPal for when you do that. If you find that you are, once you've started to put those other foods back in, not your high processed stuff, just maybe good grains of bread and good grains of, decent quality Greek yogurt, not those rubbish yogurts full of flavorings and additives, just natural Greek yogurt. So yeah, don't ever go back to those things, those other stuff with all the flavorings in, because they're not good. Create your own flavorings, natural mints, natural berries, all of those type of things, and a little bit of like the best quality honey. I like even though, you know, they say like eliminate honey. To be fair, I never have colds, never have, touch wood. I'm very, rarely ill. And I do put a lot of that down to eating, to having some honey, regular honey. So I'm not taking that one out for anyone because it's always worked and saved me well. I'm pretty sure it's that. Because when I have took it out for a great period of time, I do start to get things. So it's bizarre, isn't it? So yeah, so we know diets don't work, but we need to still be able to manage how we are eating. If we feel that, you know, we know, you can tend to know when you're overeating, when you feel that bloatedness, you've gone too far, but you've gone too far. So you should think then about the next day about, you know, how do I feel? You might have another really hungry the next day, but you've got to identify why you'd have a hungry the next day. If it's because you've had alcohol, that's because you've had alcohol. That's because you've thrown the metabolic rate all over the place. And that is something that, you know, you need to then be making sure that you're eating natural foods because you can get more, and making sure, you know, which you should anyway, because we want the best nutrition. But, you know, the thing after having alcohol is like going for the high fat, high processed, high salt, high everything. And it isn't the way. And I know people say, oh, a good bacon sandwich sorts me out. But to be honest, so would a good tuna salad, just the same. It really would. And a good walk and loads of water. So you just got to look at your choices there. So we're looking at also the other thing is why. Look at why. I want you to write down today and find out why you put the weight on. Get to the nitty-gritty of why you put the weight on, and go back as far as you can as to when you started to put the weight on. What changed? What was changing in your life when you put the weight on? Okay? So let's look at the factors that affect that. And so the reasons that diets don't work is because they don't address the underlying issues that are going on. They're just focusing on the food, and that's what we don't do on this plan. We're always looking at the underlying issues, and the underlying issues then, you know, once the weight's on, builds more underlying issues, because the confidence often drops and the self-esteem drops. So let's go back to the first part where you probably like started to put the weight on, where we put the weight on. Now the weight comes on often with stress. Like you'll hear these things or see them written around. Stress puts on pounds, you know, hormones put pounds on, you know, and all that type of stuff. You know, I put on 22 pounds with hormones. Evening, Kate, good to see you. And like, it isn't the hormones and the stress that's putting the weight on you. That isn't like, oh, if I sit here and I eat natural foods and I do that shopping list, I'm still going to gain weight because my hormones are out of sync. I'm still going to gain weight because I'm stressed. No, you won't. It's your habits that will put the weight on. But those hormones and the stress have an effect on the body, how you react. It's your reaction to them. That's what puts the weight on. So, and it's about knowing what are your stress triggers. So putting the weight on through stress. Let's have a look what happens when we feel stressed. We don't sleep properly. So, you know, we don't sleep properly. We sometimes comfort eat. We comfort eat or comfort drink. We are in a more lethargic mode. We feel more lethargic. You either go one way or the other with stress, don't you? You either have people that go manic, that get overdone, or you have people that go the other way, that need to go under the covers and sleep a lot. So, you know, look at those things there. Sleeping a lot, obviously, you're not going to be burning calories off. If you're not sleeping, then you are going to be not moving as fast around the next day because you are going to be feeling tired. So they're not burning off so many calories again. So look at those things. So it's essential that we manage our stress levels. And yeah, so these are, I'm just skimming through some of these and not going in depth on them because it's a massive, each one is a massive subject on their own. Same with hormone changes. Hormone changes are about, again, when you've got all those irritations, when you've got hot flushes, when you've got, you know, it's all stress on the body. We know we're in high inflammation. Sometimes you've been to the doctors and then they've suggested that you go on medication, and the medication is the wrong medication for you. So then that would that can have an effect on weight changes. So you've got to look at, like, you know, what medication you're being given, whether it suits your body or not. It's not a given. It's never a given that you gain weight during the menopause. It isn't. It's all about how you are managing your life, and it's essential that you have your life in balance. It's crazy, really. You know, all the things you used to cope with when you were, like, you know, out of menopause are a lot more heightened, and we are more anxiety. Some people, not all of them, not everyone, this isn't for everyone, but some people have more anxiety. You know, they have more brain fog, so they can't think clearly how to solve problems, to how to have solutions. So, you know, and then you go to the doctors, you try and get a solution, and they may have given you the wrong medication for you. And I've seen this, I'm on a lot of chat things with the HRT, and some women say, like, I've gained 10 pounds, and it's like, well, you're on the wrong medication if you've gained 10 pounds, or you are, like, out of balance with other things. She's looking for the miracle pill, and it's not a miracle pill. You've still got to get your life in order in other things. So look at when you put the weight on initially, what was changing? Social changes. Did you get more entertainment? Did you start your life change in a different way, and you started going out more? You started enjoying life more, God forbid, you know, and, like, you know, these things that happen. So check in with that. Because as well, too much of something becomes, you know, the nemesis as well. So you've got to look at that, because once you put the weight on through all the social fun nights out and things like that, you then hit a thing. You've either got to say, I don't care about this excess weight. I'm happy with it. I'm all right. I'm enjoying life. I'm going out there. I'm doing it. Or you've got to manage that social life better. You've got to do these things better. You've got to focus on it. Otherwise, the weight will go up, 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 and you'll get more mentally down, 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 down. So over scheduling days. This is another one as well. Like, you may have found that your life's changed because you've taken on a new job, or you've taken on 2 or 3 projects, 4 or 5 projects, and you're over scheduling your day. So you're not giving yourself enough time. You're not finding enough time to be able to like get those food plans in order, to be able to do the right shopping, to be able to fit your exercise in, all those things. So you may be over scheduling. So it is seriously looking at like that. And I again, over the years, I've heard it, and people say, but I can't, I'm in a new job, that's it. That's it. And do you know what? Honestly, 9 times out of 10 is that I see that job has to go. It has to go. So or you have to restructure that whole working day, and you have to go to your bosses, and you have to talk to them, and you have to do that, because it happens all the while. I've seen it for the last 25 years when those overscheduling things are happening, and it's like, don't keep pushing it. The sooner you address it, the better. The other thing is that, you know, you may have decided that you wanted to lose a few pounds in the past and thought, right, I'm going to forbid all. I'm going to give up everything. I'm going to give up life. I'm going to give up everything because I can't eat chocolate. I can't do wine. I can't do this. I can't do that. So I'm going to lose this weight. And then you've been on a diet. You've put yourself on that rigid routine, and it's basically poisoned your mind about eating properly. And so immediately you put the barriers up, and you think, like, no, I can't do this. because I've got to do everything. And you haven't, you've just got to do these small habit stacking things. You may have put the weight on because you've had injuries, because you've had lack of movement, and that you haven't looked at your eating plan to compensate that. Now, lack of movement, your body is such a fantastic thing. It will automatically regulate your appetite for the lack of movement. And if you're pushing through that, then that's when you get the problems. But if you listen to your body, it will automatically regulate for lack of movement. It's like the opposite. If you suddenly start doing loads of workouts, your body will automatically regulate to tell you to eat more, because you've got to eat more to fuel the body. So that, because it's basically putting on muscle, little bit of muscle, live tissue needs feeding. So you may have actually put weight on because you've started exercise and that you haven't recognized that that exercise is asking you to eat more, but more of the right thing, not more of the rubbish thing, or that I can eat anything now that I exercise. And I remember that. I don't hear it so much now, but in the early days, well, if you exercise, you can eat anything. Rubbish, absolute rubbish. No way, you can't. You've still got to eat healthy food, and even more so because you've got to look at that. Your body wants good quality protein to get your results. You've got to have that. And these 1 hour sessions on Cross Trainers, they're like, they're just like, they are really just leading to appetite dysregulation. So look at that, what you're doing. You cannot get on a cross trainer, burn 600 calories and expect your body not to ask for you to put 600 calories back in. It's the way it works. So look at that, appetite dysregulation. Boredom is another one. Are you bored? Do you need to find a purpose about your life? A lot of people, and I do see this as well, is that like we get anxiety issues, self-esteem issues, all of those things because the person doesn't realize that they feel like they're lacking a purpose, too much time on the hands, and that starts to then take it within as to how they're looking, how they're feeling, how they're, everything, So, right, I've got to go and get my hair done more. I've got to go and get this injection. I've got to go that injection. I've got to go and get, all those type of things, because the focus is going within and not the focus going outwards. So look at maybe, doing some stuff that is really going to make you feel fulfilled. There's loads of stuff out there, and this will stop the boredom eating. This will stop all the boredom intrinsic view of what's going on, needs to help. So how can we can change all that? Well, obviously, like I said, more than ever, we need to be in balance, and we can't freak out about it. Don't freak out about it. It's quite an enjoyable, like, trial and test sort of situation. It really is. You've got to make it enjoyable. You can't make this like into a job. It's not a job. It's like, it is, I'm investing in my health, and it feels like wealth. And it really is, it's better than £1 million in the bank and being ill, isn't it? You have £1 million in the bank and you're not addressing that. These things are going to come back to haunt you, and no money can pay for them to be got, to some of the ailments to be gone, heart issues, all the rest, things type of thing. We have the power, we can do it. So we have to look at the nutrition check-in and look at the ailments that we've got, because we all get to, menopause, and we've all got certain ailments going on. I'm pretty sure about that. And if you haven't, then you are really managing them all well. And that's brilliant, fantastic. But we all need to look at food for healing. So whatever ailment you've got, do a little bit of research on it, or put it in the comments, or direct message me personally, and I'll do some research for you and find out your healing foods for you. Yeah. So, and if you are struggling with things like it could be digestive issues, and all sorts, allergies, those type of things, the best thing to do is to journal, is to keep your journal and to see what's going on with what you eat and how you can address it. So where are we? It's a big one today, a big subject. So I can't even see the time. Oh, we're 8:06. See, I could go on forever on this. So anyway, have a great day and wish you all the best, and taking on board that, write those reasons down why you gained the weight in the first place. If it's, and you can find out the real root of what you need to always be conscious of and how you can work. Rest, sleep, hydration, stimulation, fiber, protein, fuller for longer. Let's go. Have a great day. See you later.